Hey guys! So we've had a bit of a I think the thing is that Lily thinks that I'm talking to her and so I think this is a little bit confusing for her. I thought it would be fun to So I thought it would be fun. Sorry about the hectic camera movements. Thought it would be fun to once in a while. I know nobody will listen to me. Had a bit of a disrupted night. I don't know what was going on with Lily, but she woke up and we partied a little bit. Anyway, I thought it would be nice once in a while to make a video about just, I guess, more personal stuff. And this is something I get asked about frequently, so I thought I could answer a few of these questions in a video. So if there's anything you want to know, then just leave me a comment and I'll do my best to answer it. So what I get asked very frequently is about which languages we speak at home, my kids speak. So I am originally from Israel. My native tongue, my mother's language, I guess, I don't know, that's how we call it in Israel. The literal translation is the mother's language. The language that you learn first is Hebrew. And I started to learn English in the 4th grade, and in Israel we don't have like dubbed television like they have in many countries in Europe, only for children's programs. So basically you kind of, I watched a lot of American TV and I heard the language being used a lot, also through music. I also listen to Israeli music, but mostly I guess I would listen to British and American music. And yeah, and then I met my husband when I was 24 and we speak English. We still speak English, which is a bit unfortunate because it would have been better to speak German since we live now in Austria. So he's Austrian, his native tongue is German. In Austria, the spoken language is German. It's slightly different in Austria and Germany, the same that English is different in Canada, United States, Australia, England. It's just different country, different culture, and the language is basically the same but still different. And Ella, my eldest, was born in Israel, and she went to the kindergarten for a few months there before we moved here. So she basically has two native tongues. She speaks Hebrew and German. She's fluent in both languages, but she reads and writes in German because that's what she learns in school. And but she also cuteness attack. But she also speaks Hebrew, and we're trying to learn to read and write, but it takes so much time, and so hopefully in the future she will also know how to read and write in Hebrew, but it's just difficult. There's so much going on, and she has enough work at school that but I think with time she'll probably be more motivated, with her cousins, her Israeli cousins. I think she'll probably want to catch up also and have that knowledge. I don't know, we'll see. She also speaks a little bit English. I think they study a little bit in school, and obviously she hears us speaking English, so yeah. And I speak Hebrew with her, to her, with her, and my husband speaks German to her, and we do the same with Lily. So that's the situation. Lily is 1.5 years old. She's fluent in Lilish, which is her language, and seems to have no interest in speaking. She's very chatty, and she comes and talks and has a lot to say in Lilish. So maybe one day she'll decide to learn one of the languages that we also speak. Yeah, so that is the language situation. I don't know, for me, English, I've had a very close relationship, I would say, with the language. My mom took me to London when I was 15 years old, and since then I have been there probably more than a dozen times. I love reading I read now only in English, basically. I started to read a little bit in high school in English. Our English teacher, you know, gave us, I think we had to do like one or something book report and read a book in English, and somehow everyone in my class picked books that also happened to have movies, you know, made from or based on those books. And I really think I was the only one. I'm not saying that to, like, you know, to brag or something like that, but I think I was the only one that really took it seriously, and I actually read a whole book in English. It took a long time, also because I picked a classic that we had at home, and I think it was, I can't remember the writer, but the book was called Where Angels Fear to Tread, and it was a really, really sad book. I want to say Steinbeck, but I don't think he wrote that. I don't know. My parents both read only in English. I don't know actually how that happened. They come from Romania. We are very multiculti family. So they were born in Romania, and they both speak Romanian. My mom speaks Romanian to her parents. My dad moved to Israel when he was younger than my mom was when she moved to Israel from Romania. So they kind of switched to Hebrew. I think he was 12 when they moved, and I think they mostly spoke Hebrew, or he wanted to speak Hebrew. His parents speak German between them, but nobody spoke German to me. So I had to learn German when I moved to Austria. And yeah, it's a whole thing, but basically nobody in my family is, you know, impressed with the fact that I speak 3 languages, because they all speak at least 3 languages. So cuckoo. Yeah, so I understand very simple Romanian, like the really everyday language. Can't speak to save my life. And yeah, but my point was my point was that they both read in English and have read in English since I can remember myself. So we always had English books at home, books written in English, I mean. So it kind of came naturally to me at some point to start reading that. And yeah, I started in high school, and then from there I kind of read both in Hebrew and English, and yeah, and now with the Kindle I only read in English, I have to say. And you know, I speak on YouTube in English, I speak to my husband in English, so it's kind of the language that I now experience the most, I would say. Yeah, that's it. So I don't know, that's how, you know, life happens. It's the sort of thing you don't really think too much about. But yeah, with the German, I have to say it's, you know, it's a difficult language to learn, and in some ways it is easy because certain things are really clear, like you read it exactly the way it's written, and but it's for someone like me that I really enjoy the language and I enjoy having a large vocabulary. It's very frustrating not to be able to express myself in the way that I'm used to in Hebrew and most of the time in English. Even in English, I find myself sometimes, you know, searching for a word, especially when it goes, I'm not talking about, you know, being super tired or before coffee, but when I'm discussing more complicated issues like politics or economics, not that I discuss economics so much, but you know, like these all this vocabulary that kind of comes naturally to you when it's your mother's tongue, your native tongue, it gets complicated in a foreign language. And I do feel comfortable talking English now, but you know, keep in mind that I have been speaking, reading, learning, experiencing English for like more than 20 years. So I don't know when I'll get there with my German. Not that optimistic, actually. That's it. Me and languages. So please, yeah, leave me a comment, tell me if you enjoyed this video, and tell me if there's other things you would like to know. I am happy to answer if I can. Lily says bye-bye. She wants to open this thing. It's very frustrating, this IKEA kitchen, isn't it, Lily? Lily, say bye-bye? Bye-bye. Say bye-bye? She has no idea what I want from her. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. She likes to wear this cue around her neck for some reason.